Now, Hank, a Republican, says he and his Democratic daughter, Olivia, are barely speaking right now due to a recent argument about Trump's handling of the COVID crisis.
I feel like what is happening in my family is happening all over the country. There's a huge divide.
Under the Trump administration, I really believe that the country is thriving.
For the past 4 years, I've definitely been biting my tongue while Trump's been in office. I feel Donald Trump is extremely dangerous.
I like Donald Trump because he's a businessman. He ran the country as a business.
The way Donald Trump speaks about women is just, it's degrading, it's disrespectful. A few weeks before the election, it was my birthday, and I stopped by my parents' house. My dad and I got into a huge argument about politics.
She was actually blaming Donald Trump, one person, on the coronavirus.
The argument got ugly very quickly.
It was a brawl.
Now that the election is over, we're still not on speaking terms. It's extremely painful to not speak to him. We're New Yorkers, we're extremely passionate about things. We're a very close family.
This is just making me feel sad, depressed. She means the world to me. She's always been there for me.
The fact of the matter is my father's rhetoric, it's really got to change.
You know, I cherish Olivia, but I'm not going to change the way I feel my political views.
I want to move forward, but I'm just not sure how.
As Republicans, we may have lost this election, but I just can't lose my daughter.
Well, Hank and Olivia are joining us virtually. Let me start with you, Hank. You are a Republican, you voted for Trump, and you and Olivia had a big argument in October, and you haven't spoken since, is that right?
That's correct. We
Okay.
haven't spoken.
All right, and Olivia, you've not spoken to your father since October. Why?
The contention was so great from that day. I have so much angst inside of me, fighting with my father over a man I feel just doesn't care about any of us, really.
But we're talking about your dad. Your dad is not Donald Trump. So why are you painting your dad with Trump's brush?
It was the rhetoric. It's what he speaks about when he's talking about Trump himself as a person, as a nice person doing great things for this country. And we don't see eye to eye on that at all.
Is that your standard? Is your standard that he has to agree with you in order for you to have a relationship with him?
No, that's not my standard.
Well, apparently it is. I mean, that's what you're saying. He speaks like in ways you don't want. He says things you don't agree with. He doesn't see things your way, so you just can't stomach it anymore.
Well, there's a difference, I think, when you're speaking about women in general and you're degrading them, and someone like your father with 3 daughters agrees with that type of the way he speaks. I don't agree with it. It's not something.
She knows that I support women's equality. I marched in protests. I'm a caring person. And just because I voted for a person, that's a reason not to talk to me.
You say Democrats are crooked and liars.
Well,
you're
obviously they cheated on the election. They tried to get him impeached.
Who is they? Which Democrat do you know that cheated?
I don't know a particular person that cheated.
Okay, well, I guess my question is, how did you arrive at the conclusion that Democrats cheated?
From one example, following in the news, and of course you can't believe everything you read in the news, obviously, there was 130, it's a fact, 130,000 votes came in after the allotted time in Arizona. Not one of the votes were for Trump. That's mathematically, from being a math major, impossible, physically impossible.
Well, hey, it's me, and thank you so much for watching. And while I have you, do you have a story or a question for me? If so, trust me, I want to hear from you. Click on the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on. You just might end up right here on the show. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little red button below. You know you want to. What are you waiting for? Do it.